Hi there. We're living in disaster capitalism, which means that things like the wildfires happening in California are the rule, not the exception. Actually live in an economic system that benefits from disaster and catastrophe. Word to Naomi Klein. So what would you do if you understood that you are actually in an emergency now, today? Grab your tea. I'm having chamomile in my nerves. Let's talk about this feeling of helplessness. We'd like to discuss the California wildfires by discussing the hurricane that happened in North Carolina. The hurricane was at the beginning of October. It is now the beginning of January. 3 months. It's been 3 months. We already stopped talking about it. I was there, and the things that I saw in real life and online shifted something in my brain, and I want to share it with you.
There's a couple next to me who's filling up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cans of fuel. I assume for them and their neighbors because there are so many people stranded. In case you thought I was lost, it's serious out here. They are out of 2 types of gasoline. The line of cars behind me is insane. The traffic is insane. The ways what Sierra Leone looks like constantly. The United States doesn't really know what it's like to deal with fuel crises or not having a government that's able to subsidize fuel. I happened to be around when Tropical Storm Helen happened to be around when those outer rings, just the outer rings, right? Happened to be hit around like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I spent an hour today driving around trying to get back to the highway because all of the traffic lights were down. I thought I was just stopping to get gas really quick. Wasn't no gas around for like at least a 15-mile radius. Trees fallen, took down power lines, took out entire blocks of power. Some gas stations were down not because they didn't have gas, but because they didn't have power. Unimaginable, it's far away until it hits your area.
This was the ridiculously long line for gas I drove past to leave. Hilariously, I left this catastrophe to drive straight into the biolab's chemical fire. Capitalism, man.
At the same time, I saw a lot of tweets from people in the area about how they had never seen such camaraderie among their neighbors. People that didn't talk to each other were suddenly helping one another find gas and food and basics. As you saw, right, with all those gas canisters, those people were likely getting fuel for their nuclear community. Okay, so then, we're living in disaster capitalism. Things like tropical storms that turn into hurricanes, wildfires that take out cities, they are the norm for our lives from here on out. So when seeing a lot of tweets like this that speak to the level of inevitability and this feeling of helplessness, consequences of this world making right now, capitalism. That is the part that's a bit inevitable. Us feeling helpless within that, not at all inevitable. There is nothing stopping you from moving like you are already in an emergency because you are. You are not in an emergency when there's a flood, or the fire, or the tornado, or the energy grid collapsing. You are in an emergency now, right now. Because all that stuff that I just named and more is inevitable. How would you move today if you understood in your body that you are in emergency now? Today. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from knowing your neighbors now, or from having a generator that you share amongst your community, for having a census of who is not able to go get their own groceries, who's going to need help evacuating. Do you actually want to wait until the flood comes to know your neighbors?